Hey, I'm Sam. I'm 23 from Brisbane, Australia. I grew up in the outback Australia in a place called Lightning Ridge. Has dirt roads, no power, no running water, and basically I spent my entire childhood outdoors. I guess my childhood is a little bit different to a lot of people's, mostly because I lived with my parents from when I was born until I was 12 years old. But when I turned 13, I moved in with my aunt, uncle and cousin so I could get a good education in the city. So I went from a completely outback environment to living in the city, which was absolutely crazy. This is from when my family and I, every Easter, would go to the river. And so every Easter we'd go to the river on a huge fishing trip and would be there for a couple of weeks. And it was one of my favorite childhood memories, obviously, at the beach. I was born in Byron Bay, so I spent a lot of time at the beach as a kid. We have this one, which I think this was my 8th birthday party at the local pool in Lightning Ridge. So when I was a kid, I spent all my time at the local pool because it gets to 50 degrees in the summer and there's no other way to cool down. So yeah. When I was 9, my mum was looking at my arm and then all of a sudden she freaked out and I was just like, what's going on? And she took me straight to the doctor. And when we got to the doctor, he examined this mole on my arm, just here. And he was a little bit suspicious of it. And so we went back home, and then a few days later he called us up and he was like, come to the hospital ASAP, we need to cut that out. And it was later that I found out that it's an early stage melanoma. But looking back on it now, I just wish that I probably reapplied sunscreen. I had a habit of, my parents wouldn't let me out of the house without applying sunscreen. But once I got out, I didn't reapply it. And that was probably the biggest issue because I'd come home from the pool or being out for a day and I'd just have blisters all over my shoulders and my back. I think mostly that it's so easy to get your skin checked, and you can even get it done at a local GP. We have a lot of facilities in Australia. It's not an invasive procedure at all. All they do is check your moles to make sure they're not abnormal.